Johnathan Majors is back on the news again, and this time it's pretty serious. Hello and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of the Heinz Report. I go by the name of Dr. Heinz, and today we are discussing Johnathan Majors, and it is wild. There has been so much developments into this case, and we're going to get into that video. But for those that don't know, I have laid a lot of foundation in what I'm going to be talking about in this video. You can watch that on the previous video. The title card should be above, and you can go watch that and get acquainted with a lot of the talking points that I'm going to be discussing on this video. Right, Johnathan Majors, a quick background for those that have not seen my previous videos. I have laid a lot of foundation on this. Johnathan Majors was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence. This was back in March. Immediately he was released with a limited protection order. The internet was in a frenzy, and they were basically speculating so much that he was already guilty. They had already written him off. Then he released texts to try and exonerate himself, and a lot of people misread the texts. Well, everything that I'm going to be discussing in this video is going to provide a lot more context to that text, starting with something that Variety is reporting as more and more alleged victims of Johnathan Majors are coming forward to cooperate with the DA. This is wild. All right, now onto the Variety article. As we see here, Variety reports that Johnathan Majors' issues as worsen as more alleged victims as come forward to cooperate with the DA. That is not just it. It says as he prepares for appearance on May 8th for court appearance for DV charges, his PR problems gotten a lot worse. The prospect of more women waiting in the wings would mark a dramatic turn in the case, and comes to the heels of Majors' publicists and management firms cutting ties with the embattled actor earlier this week. Johnathan Majors is innocent and has abused no one. We have already heard that statement. It's all in the previous video. But the major development in this is the fact that the PR team for Johnathan Majors has jumped ship. If that isn't bad enough, going back into the article, it is revealed here that Chaudhry's husband, which is his lawyer, Priya Chaudhry is a lawyer, Andrew Burke is serving as Majors' crisis publicist, and doubled down on the narrative that Majors was the victim when he released a series of text messages on March 30th that were intended to be exonerating. And this is the main part I want to get to. He says here, a few hours later, the woman allegedly wrote, "I know you have the best team and there's nothing to worry about. I just want you to know that I'm doing all I can my end. I also said to tell the judge to know that the origin of the 911 call was to do with me collapsing and passing out, and your worry as my partner due to our communication prior. But for many who were in the business with Majors, text messages had the opposite effect and raised more questions than answered, namely why the woman has lost consciousness." Now, this is the main part. The one thing that I've noticed that stuck out to me on the whole Johnathan Majors' PR team being gone or jumping ship or being released is the pure fact that she was the one that mentioned it. You may think that's nothing, but there is kind of a spin to it, because it seems to be like, well, the team is now mentioned, they might be seen as, oh, he's just trying to brush it all under the rug, and when they do, it'll fall on them. That's what it seems like to me. That's what it seems like, that they all had to jump ship. For me personally, and I will always remain on the fence, this doesn't look good for Johnathan Majors. I'll get onto a lot more details, but it just doesn't look good so far. And the reason why I say it doesn't look good is because, as the article stipulated, more and more victims have come forward. This has put me in a position where, right, we have to listen to each and every one of them when they made their statements and see what they are alleging, because, and as you know, anything can happen in cases like this. Anything can happen. It could be what they're alleging is not even at the veracity of what's going on here. It could just be, it could be anything. It could be anything, and we don't know. Just because a source has reported, oh, these people has gone there, that may not have necessarily been the case. We don't know. This is not an official report. That is that is the message that I'm trying to put out there. In my opinion, it's basically hearsay, but it just doesn't look good for Major's PR. But I'm gonna quickly go back to the article and read one last point that basically sums up the whole reaction to the entire Major's debacle. And basically, it says it read like a bad Lifetime movie. Says this person that's working on Major's upcoming project. But it says they basically look like the texts of a textbook abuse woman. When you're looking into cases like this, and then you want someone to be guilty and not guilty, there is a lot of things that you don't know regarding the case, and then you just automatically taking a side. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the power that we have nowadays to basically cancel someone and ruin someone's livelihood is great, too great. In fact, I discussed this on my latest video on here, going into cancel culture. Make sure you do check that out after this video. It basically goes into the point of, this is why we need to be a lot more careful, because when all this happened, people made their mind up. It was already done. And now Johnathan Majors has released new footage to basically show and say, look, I didn't strike my ex-girlfriend. Yes, that's his ex now. It's over. I'm going to go into the article right now that says that. It says Johnathan Majors says the man who was driving him and his now ex-girlfriend the night of the alleged domestic incident will testify the actor did not strike her, and he claims that there is video proof she was not injured when she went out to a club after the altercation. This was after. So the video is after. This was written on the 19th of April 2023. It goes on to say the woman allegedly told police she suffered a broken finger and a laceration behind her ear. Keep that in mind. During the altercation, however, in the document, Chaudhry says they have proved that that's a complete lie. Remembering the previous videos that we went through, the articles, there were so many different versions of this story. I never knew anything about a finger. That must be the minor injuries that they were referring to, because the picture that they were painting is like she has sustained quite a bit of injuries, but now is a bit more defined. Is basically saying broken finger, laceration. She says they have hours of security footage, she being Priya, the Johnathan Majors lawyer, showing the woman went clubbing and got drunk after Majors left her in the car. And also she texted him accusing him of infidelity and threatening suicide. This is very key, because the story basically is they had a fire in the car. She went for the phone, etc. And yeah, and after that they collapsed and the police was called. That already, there's so much there that it would suggest that Majors had basically hit her so hard or beaten her so badly that she just collapsed. But this is the part that stood out to me in this whole article, because this has been out for a while. I've watched a lot of reaction channels to this and I have not seen this. I have not seen it. And this is the body cam video. As you can see, there's no strangulation marks on her neck. There isn't anything. I can't see it. She's white, by the way, so this should be red handprint, but I can't see it. It will be like this. This is the body cam footage that they basically are saying that the police was basically coaching her and to say that Majors grabbed her by the throat. If that's the body cam footage, this is very damning. This is something that's kind of weird. That I'm like, why would the police coach her to say this? And also, why would she say she had strangulation? Listen, if we go back to the text messages really quickly, as I said in the previous video, reading the text messages, it just looked like somebody. It just looked like somebody that was trying to protect a relationship, knowing they messed up one way or the other. I read it differently, and I didn't see how this could mean that Johnathan Majors did it, like how everyone else is seeing it. I saw it as this is something that is a lot more nuanced than what you guys are kind of leading to believe, and it should be enough to at least push you back onto the fence and be like, hey, let's wait a bit. But everyone already assumed she was guilty, so this kind of proved it. And the next article is going to provide a lot more context to just what we just read, because this is where Johnathan Majors basically laid down the entire incident as when it happened and how it happened. But yeah, let's get on to the article. It basically says, we know Johnathan Majors' alleged DV victim went out partying after the night in question, but there's a video that appears that she was just fine. And we're going to go right into that video. This is it. That's her right there. Walks in. All fine. Can't really see much. I can't see her. But she's mobile, cognizant. The key thing I want you to look at is the time. 25th. That's key right there. 25th of March. That's the time. That's the date. Anyway, as you can see, she's all fine. Probably shouldn't have paused it because it is a 1 minute 24 video. I do appreciate you for giving me 1 minute 24 minutes of your time to watch out all of this develop. But you know, as I see right there, they're in the Moxie Hotel, so it's definitely maybe a bar complex within the hotel. And there's a DJ booth, so it is the club part, and she is partying. She's trying to get the attention of the DJ for whatever reason, and yeah, and this is 3 o'clock. This is her going home, and now let's look into the comment section because it's always funny to look at these things. This one right here says, why won't they release the body cam footage of anything substantial? These piecemeal evidence drops prove nothing. Wow, they're further confusing everyone. But I'm guessing that's the goal here, to muddy the waters. No, the goal is not to muddy the waters. I'm sorry. The goal is not to muddy the waters. It is quite clear here that the people even commenting on these things do not actually know this case at all or have any interest in knowing this case, because if they knew the context, if they knew what was being reported at the time, if they knew the narrative behind this, they would know that this goes completely against that. But they don't care. And you can look here, it says partying. She was drinking at the bar and talking to her friend. People seriously don't understand how DV relationships become normalized at this point. Listen, this was hours after the incident, by the way. This was hours after the incident. The timestamps are there. It is also important to note that Johnathan Majors is nowhere to be seen there. He is not there. She's not walking out with him. She's not with anybody. So please, I know you guys picked a side, but you need to be real with yourself for a minute and just look at the facts. Remember, Major's attorney claimed last week that our client was not the alleged victim after the taxicab moment, and that he didn't come into contact with her again until the following morning, when he allegedly found her unconscious in his bathroom. This is the key part, because this was the previous night. This is the context because if you look in the text messages anyway, there was a considerable time gap that I immediately saw, and I was like this time gap is telling me that this must be when she was away or in the hospital. I was thinking this incident happened, they both went out, they both were coming home, and she got beaten And that's possibly what happened. Whatever happened, I personally thought it was a psychosis or some sort, or a mental, based on what the lawyer was saying previously, saying that it was that she had an emotional breakdown. But now it turns out that she was unconscious in her bathroom. So I don't know what that emotional breakdown was leading to, but this is why I'm not trusting anyone here and just sitting on the fence, because the emotional breakdown was making me think, okay, she's probably had an episode and she had to go to the hospital based on that. But this context to show that no, she went to a club, etc., and the emotional breakdown as well, in tandem with what they're saying, is the fact that she was sending text messages, etc., to Majors. You see, this was when he called 911 because he saw her in the bathroom, and then the cops showed up to arrest him. His team all along has insisted the purported text messages sent from the alleged victim to Johnathan Majors recant her allegations and apologize to him. Do not make any reference to injuries supposedly inflicted by him. All this evidence, including full surveillance videos, has been submitted to the DA. His lawyers have also said they have witnesses, including the cab driver, who will testify, who apparently saw notably that Johnathan Majors did not put his hands on her. So this is why I am on the fence, because end of the day, now they're not talking about the video in the cab. They're now saying that the cab driver is going to testify. So what that could mean is they were not able to get permission for the video from the cab company for whatever, or the video may have, I don't know. I just don't know what the procedures are when it comes to obtaining evidence from taxi companies, where they have customers that have an expectation of privacy anyway. So can they really give that over for them to release onto media? Because that's what would happen. I do know this though: when you are in a club, there is no expectation of privacy. The security cameras, you are forewarned that they're being recorded. So this is why they are able to get this one easier than the cab video, because again, like I said, there is an expectation of privacy. You are not able to obtain those. You're not able to obtain those videos as easily as it may seem. It's not as easy as, hey, give me that video. Oh, okay, cool. But now we'll go back to the initial article from 19th of April, because I did not read that out purposely, because this is where we are going to get the idea overall of what actually happened that night. When her night out at the club was over, they claim she showed up at Major's home at 3:23 a.m., entered his apartment and called him 32 times and sent several angry, jealous text messages. Majors was not home when she got there. So this is 3:23 a.m. She was calling him. Again, all these things are provable, by the way. You can see the call logs. You can see the text messages that she was sending. They would have this ready. These are things that you have to back up with evidence. Goes on to say, Chaudhry says none of the text messages accuse Johnathan of injuring her, nor does she mention any discomfort from alleged injuries. They say Majors got home at 11:13 a.m. and her unconscious and half naked on the floor of his walk-in closet. He also discovers she allegedly threw up on his bed and told him she had taken a few sleeping tablets. Majors then called 911 and claimed when paramedics arrived, the woman repeatedly told them, "I don't know," when asked what happened to her. Now, if you go back to the original article, the original TMZ article, it reported that the police were actually called around 11 a.m. Eastern time. So it is close to what we are reading here, that he would be at home at this time and she wasn't there at this time. And based on the text messages that they have received, which I'm sure they will provide proof one way or the other, we'll just wait to see. I want them to leak the text messages, and I want them to leak the body cam footage. If I'm being honest with you, because that has provided so much context to the text message that I just read. To me, it definitely confirms at least my suspicions that this was not the signs of a victim, so to speak. I know how it might look that way because, like I said in the previous video, I do sympathize. I'm like, Jesus, like it does look bad. It does actually look like she has been through something. But like I kept saying, let's just wait for more information to come out. And the information has now come out that's provided so much context. And it definitely proved that she did not faint, or nothing from the taxi caused her to faint. She went out to party. Johnathan went his own way. They struggled for the phone, as it seemed, because as she admitted in the text, she wanted to see what was on the phone, and she went for the phone, and they struggled. He got his phone back, left. She left and went out and done his thing. I don't know what happened within that time period to make her go to Major's house, but like I said, his story does seem to stack up, because there is a timestamp, a precise timestamp. They're not even saying around 3. They're not even saying anything. They're saying 3:23. You cannot get more precise than this, saying that she was in the house. So, like said, when Majors, the text message that was sent to her, Majors could not have been there at that time. Because why would you text somebody that you are there at the time for? Why would you text them? However, the same text message that was sent at 8:28 a.m. I want to see what was said above, because she is supposed to be collapsed at this point. Remember, she is supposed to be out of it, but Majors is messaging her at 8:28 a.m. So there's a bit of inconsistency here that I need to see when that message at the top was sent, because I will give Majors the benefit of the doubt. I'll give anyone that's accused and anyone that's a victim the benefit of the doubt. The truth is all that matters here. I have absolutely nothing to gain. Absolutely nothing to gain by saying he did it or she did it, etc. outside of ego points, or by bragging in the end, oh, see, I was right or I was wrong. That's all there is, an ego boost. But in the end of the day, this case really does interest me, because it's so interesting, the narrative that's gone on around, how viral that text was, juxtaposed to the video that no one is talking about, let alone knows the existence of. That is very interesting to me, and what the picture that I'm seeing being painted in front of me, it's not making sense. But at the same time, giving the benefit of doubt to Majors, he could have just seen that text, woken up, saw that text, sent it to her like this and that, and we don't know when that text was even sent. We don't know when she collapsed. We don't know anything. All we know is she sent loads of angry messages at 3 a.m. She took sleeping pills. Time for that unconfirmed. But what was apparent is when Majors got there, she was out and she was taken to hospital. What is definitely sure, without a shadow of a doubt, when the police were there after being called, this was 11 when she regained consciousness, etc. And before being taken to hospital, I'm assuming she regained consciousness while they were there, and then taken to hospital for tests. She had no marks on her, no strangulation, no nothing. It's wild, and I want to see this case to the end. I'll keep reporting on this case. I don't know which way it's gonna turn, but Johnathan Majors, yes, it looks bad PR wise. I stand by that. PR wise, he's lost. It looks really bad. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have made this far, you are a true legend. Do check out the other videos on the channel. Help us grow. Like, share, and subscribe if you like the video, if you find it informative. Whatever reasons they may be, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Provide the feedback. We are trying to grow and grow this channel. I want to present cases like this, other social issues that are going on the channel. So do join us for this experience, and thank you so much for tuning in. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.